Man oh man, aren't we spoiled. There is just so much to love in this chapter. Hello my Nakamatachi, this is Joy Girl, and today we have a review of the amazing chapter 987, Vassals of Glory. There is a lot that happened in this chapter, so today I will do something a bit different and review the chapter by following the events and structure as they happened to the best that I can, because everything was a bit everywhere this week, which is actually ironic because everything that happened was contained in one space, but nonetheless, this actually suits the chapter well given where we are at in the story. But before we get into the chapter itself, I have to mention the cover page. We finally have Jinbei in a cover page featured alongside the Straw Hats, and I love it. Seeing him amongst the crew solidified him as an official Straw Hat Nakama, which has been long awaited, so to have this in an already hyped chapter was a real joy. The details in the cover pages are always amazing, and in this week's, it seems the Straw Hats are on a large pug, with Luffy leading the crew on another smaller pug. Luffy holding a pipe is a nice callback to his childhood days, and he's wearing a shirt with what seems to be a type of fruit? A devil fruit? Whereas the patterns on Sanji's shirt clearly features number 3s, and on Jinbei's Hawaiian-esque shirt, the waves almost look like Beppo, which was fun to see. I gotta mention the interaction between Robin and Frankie in this cover page, where the Straw Hat archaeologist has her hand on Frankie's cheek, and I have already seen a number of people shipping this duo on Twitter. Also, the writing on the cover page reads, "We're gonna live like tomorrow doesn't exist," and this is so apt for the chapter and our current point in the Wano arc, which leads me to my review on the chapter itself. Chapter 987 opened by showing the continued PTSD Kaido is experiencing due to the Scabbards' combined effort whilst falling off the building. It seems that they were not able to penetrate the Yonko skin at first, but they kept going, and sure enough, one by one, they seem to have started making an effect, as seen when their swords were finally able to pierce Kaido's skin, with Kiku's sword seen even going through the Yonko's hand. I love that a different angle of the last chapter's scene is shown here, this time from behind Kaido. And all the Scabbards' actions, but with Raizo I gotta say looking the coolest with 2 blades on Kaido's neck. This is just something that no one would ever have pictured happening to Kaido, because he's been built up as this unstoppable, unkillable monster, but even in saying that, the execution of the damage he received here was well executed. Kaido remembering Oden's last moments, combined with the collective effort of the Scabbards who are all capable warriors in their own right, made the Yonko question what was happening, as Oden's vassals are actually hurting him, and he wonders if they also possess Oden's duo. The Scabbards' surprise attack ended with them along with Kaido crashing to the ground as they surround him. As this was going on, the different reactions of everyone inside the castle were shown, and it is honestly just chaos. From the Beast Pirates realizing the situation and preparing to fight the Scabbards, to the Alliance abandoning their disguise and cover to stop them, and Yamato along with Luffy rushing to Kaido's location before getting interrupted by Ulti, who now has a new weapon. My wish for these two to battle is being granted, and the brief clash was exciting. I loved the 2 kinds of people moment here, with Yamato calling Ulti by her name, whereas Luffy, oh Luffy, has given her the nickname Headbutt, which was hilarious. In fact, this entire scene involving Ulti was hilarious, with her being furious at Yamato and questioning if Yamato is either crazy or stupid, after Yamato declares that it's finally the day he becomes Kozuki Oden, which I'm taking it to mean it's finally the day to completely fulfill Oden's will. Meanwhile, Big Mom has a nonchalant reaction to the current situation, which I absolutely loved. She gave me chills because of how terrifying she looks this chapter. Despite only being featured briefly in a few panels, she has such a strong presence. Watching her singing and dancing, all the while threatening Luffy, whom she has travelled all this way to kill, gave me the creeps. But sure enough, this didn't faze our Straw Hat captain, who then responded by declaring an all-out war. I love the setup to this, with Big Mom asking Luffy why he's here, and everyone surprised by his response that he's not here to defeat Kaido. But what he actually meant is that he's here to kick everyone's ass, including Big Mom, the officers, Orochi, Orochi's men, as well as Kaido, and thus declaring an all-out war. And this might just be what is going to happen, and by that, I mean an all-out war even amongst the different crews. This seems possible seeing as the Calamities and the Flying Six don't get along, so I wouldn't be surprised if a sort of free-for-all battle ends up happening. Unaware that Luffy brought an entire army with him, Big Mom and Queen mocked his declaration until someone informs Queen of the real situation. Oh, and Queen's reactions are always deserving of a panel. We were then shown everything that's happening, well, almost everything, because there are still no updates on a number of players unaccounted for, which leads me to wonder, where the hell is Sanji? But anyways, whilst Big Mom is distracted by Luffy, Nami and Carrot free themselves, and I quite appreciated that we were shown the two finding their own way out of the situation rather than needing rescue. The chapter goes back to Kaido and the Scabbards, with Kaido realizing the truth in Orochi's fears, which everyone mocked. After summarizing the Scabbards' journey and experiences leading them to their current revenge on Wano, he ends it by warning that the pirates whom the Scabbards are allied with will soon betray them. This really spiked my attention because this is as if to hint that he has had a similar experience. Perhaps this is part of his history belonging to the infamous pirate crew, the Rocks Pirates. I can't wait for Kaido's flashback to be shown. I already have a number of thoughts and ideas running through my mind right now on how his words may connect to his inevitable flashback. But this was followed by another awesome moment, with Kinemon showing his complete faith in Luffy, rebutting that, regardless of their fate, Luffy will survive and fulfill his dreams. And man, what a non-straw hat way to say that Luffy is going to be the Pirate King. In other events, reinforcements have arrived on all fronts as seen with Zoro, Kid and Law. It seems that this beautiful light-haired individual who is seen with Law could be someone we haven't seen in a while in Basil Hawkins. It's funny because I was actually asked on Twitter just before the chapter release where I think this one is. Also, Marco and Perospero seem to have teamed up for now, maybe in a the enemy of my enemy is my friend type of situation. I'm curious to see how this turns out and whether this is setting up for the infighting amongst crews which I mentioned earlier. And then back to Kaido, who also heard Luffy's earlier declaration, accepts this challenge and vows to show Luffy the greatest army in the world as he turns into his dragon form, but still no confirmation of Kaido's devil fruit name yet. I love that the Scabbards just hung on to Kaido as he flew away, but I wish that everyone would have been shown as we can only see a few in the small panel. Kinemon thanks Luffy, who responds by promising to catch up later, and one Joy Girl is hoping that this is not another death flag on top of Kinemon's earlier speech, as I am keen to see more of Kin after what we've seen of him recently. Anyways, Kaido lands on the dome roof of Onighashima because he wants a bigger space for a battle to take place, which turns out to be what the Scabbards were anticipating all along. Because surprise surprise, a number of meek warriors, who were also previously unaccounted for but I had personally never questioned their whereabouts, were all outside, and it just happens to be a full moon. And you know what that means? Sulong form. This part had me jumping up and down. Mind you, I was hyped the entire chapter, but the last page was crazy. Neko and Inu featured alone in the panel looked so damn cool, preparing themselves, and then the mass of the Mink tribe standing up to Kaido before seeing Neko's features glowing in white against the black background, and his wicked grin was way too much for me to handle. I can't wait to see all the Minks in Sulong form. Seeing just Carrot, who is still a young warrior, was awesome, so I can't imagine how terrifying Neko and Inu will be, in addition to the tribe, plus possibly Beppo in action. With the coming break, which I think is actually much needed to deliver the result of a Sulong army, I'm expecting at least a double page of seeing everyone in their Sulong form, and that's something to be very excited about. And that's it for my chapter review. Please share your thoughts on the chapter by leaving a comment below, and please subscribe to keep the One Piece discussion alive. This is Joy Girl, and I'll see you again soon.